I noticed the password change at 2:47 a.m. when my banking app logged me out automatically. When I tried to log back in, my credentials didn't work. My stomach dropped as I requested a password reset, only to discover the recovery email had been changed too. At 8 a.m., I walked into First National Bank and requested emergency account access. The branch manager, Mrs. Coleman, recognized me immediately. "Miss Rodriguez, is everything all right? Someone changed my password and recovery email overnight. I need to access my account." After verifying my identity with my passport and answering security questions, she restored my access. Then she pulled up my transaction history and her expression changed. "Miss Rodriguez, there have been several large transfers from your account in the past 6 hours. Were you aware?" I looked at the screen. 20,000 to my sister Gabriella's account. 15,000 to my parents' joint account. 10,000 to my brother Miguel's account. 5,000 marked Family Emergency Fund. $50,000 gone while I slept. "No," I said quietly. "I wasn't aware." Mrs. Coleman's face tightened. "I'm flagging these transactions as potentially fraudulent. Can you tell me who might have accessed your account?" "My parents. Last week they'd asked to borrow my laptop for taxes. I'd foolishly left them alone with it for 20 minutes. "By family," I admitted. Her expression shifted from professional concern to something sadder. "I see. Unfortunately, this happens more often than you'd think. Would you like to file a fraud report?" "Not yet. But I need my account secured immediately. New password. New security questions. Remove any authorized users I didn't personally add." "Of course." She worked quickly, her fingers flying across the keyboard. "There. Your account is now fully secured. Is there anything else I can help you with?" I hesitated. "Can you check if there are any joint account holders I didn't authorize?" She checked, then nodded grimly. "Your father was added as a joint holder 3 weeks ago. The authorization signature appears questionable. They'd forged my signature." "Of course they had." "Remove him." "And Mrs. Coleman?" "I need to transfer the majority of my funds to a private investment account. Somewhere they can't see or access." "Smart decision," she said, already pulling up forms. "I'll connect you with our wealth management division." My phone started buzzing. Multiple calls from Dad. I silenced it. The family group chat exploded with messages. "Dad, Maya, we need to talk. Family meeting tonight. 7 p.m. Don't be late." "Mom, it's important, Mija. We have exciting news about family investments." "Gabriella, thanks for the help with the car down payment, sis. You're the best." So that's what they were calling it. A car down payment. An emergency. Meanwhile, they'd stolen $50,000 from my account after locking me out. I typed back, "I'll be there. 7 p.m. I had 6 hours to prepare. I arrived at my parents' house at 6:55 p.m. Gabriella's brand new Lexus sat in the driveway, gleaming white with temporary plates. $50,000 of my money parked like a trophy. Mom opened the door, all smiles. "Waya, come in, come in. We have so much to discuss." The living room looked like a celebration. Champagne glasses. Appetizers. Miguel and his wife Sofia on the couch. Gabriella and her husband Carlos showing off car photos on their phones. Dad standing by the fireplace like a patriarch about to make an announcement. "Maya, sit." Dad gestured to the empty chair. "We have incredible news." I sat, my leather portfolio in my lap. "We've decided to make some strategic family investments," Dad began. Gabriella needed a reliable car for her new job. Miguel and Sofia need help with their house renovation. Your mother and I have some medical expenses coming up. "And you took $50,000 from my account to cover it," I said calmly. The room went silent for a beat. Then Mom laughed nervously. "Well, yes, but you always help family. We just streamlined the process. No need for all that back and forth asking and explaining." "You changed my password," I said. "You locked me out of my own account. You forged signatures to add Dad as a joint holder." Gabriella waved her hand dismissively. "Oh, don't be so dramatic. It's just family helping family. You make good money with that tech thing you do. You can afford it." "That tech thing is a software development company," I said. "And you're right. I can afford it. But that's not the point. The point is family comes first," Dad said firmly. We raised you, fed you, paid for your education. Now it's your turn to give back. And we shouldn't have to beg for it every time there's a need. Miguel nodded. Honestly, Maya, you've always been kind of tight with money. This just makes things easier for everyone. Easier for you to steal from me, you mean? It's not stealing. Mom's voice rose. It's family redistribution. You have more than you need. You're single, no kids, living in that small apartment. We have real expenses. Real needs. Carlos leaned forward. Plus, we were thinking about making this a regular thing. Monthly transfers. Like an allowance system but reversed. You contribute to the family fund and we allocate based on need. I stared at him. You want me to give you monthly allowances? Think of it as family investment, Dad said. We all benefit. And when you eventually settle down, have kids, need help, we'll be there for you. With my own money that you've been taking, I said. With family support, Dad corrected. Stop thinking so individualistically, Maya. In our culture, family shares everything. I opened my portfolio and pulled out a document. This is a fraud report from First National Bank. It details unauthorized access to my account, forged signatures, and $50,000 in fraudulent transfers. The room went cold. You filed a fraud report? Mom's voice was barely a whisper. Against your own family? I documented the fraud, I corrected. I haven't filed it yet. But I will if necessary. Necessary? Gabriella's voice went shrill. You'd send your own parents to jail over money? You'd steal from your own sister after locking her out of her account? I countered. Dad's face was turning red. We didn't steal. We took what we needed. What you should have freely given. Then why did you do it in the middle of the night? Why change my password? Why forge signatures? If it was just family helping family, why all the deception? No one answered. I pulled out another document. This is my real bank statement. The account you accessed? That's my spending account. I keep about $100,000 in there for monthly expenses and family emergencies. I slid the paper across the coffee table. Dad picked it up. His eyes went wide. Mom looked over his shoulder and gasped. What is this? Dad's voice shook. My actual net worth, I said calmly. My software company was acquired by tech giant last year. The sale price was $1.2 billion. After taxes and distribution to my partners, my personal share was $847 million. Current investment portfolio value, $1.1 billion. The silence was absolute. Gabriella snatched the paper. This is fake. This has to be fake. It's not, I said. Call the number at the bottom. That's my wealth manager at Goldman Sachs. He's expecting your call. He has permission to verify the information. Miguel was shaking his head. You're a billionaire, and you let us think you were just some freelance developer. You assumed I was just some freelance developer, I corrected. I never lied. You just never asked. None of you ever asked about my company, my work, my success. You just assumed I was the family ATM and treated me accordingly. Mom sat down heavily. Maria and I, we could have. Could have what? I asked. Treated me with respect? Valued my success? Been proud of me? You could have done all of that without knowing I was wealthy. But you didn't. This changes everything, Dad said, his voice taking on that calculated tone I recognized. With this kind of money you could help the whole family. Real help. We could pay off the house, buy investment properties, set up college funds. No, I said simply. No. I'm not giving you anything. In fact, I want the $50,000 returned within 30 days, or I file the fraud report. Carlos laughed incredulously. You're a billionaire and you won't help your family? That's sick. You're my family and you stole from me, I said. That's sick. I pulled out the last document. This is a settlement agreement. You return the $50,000. You surrender any financial information you have about me. You remove yourselves from any accounts. You never request money from me again. In exchange, I don't press charges. And if we don't sign? Miguel asked. Then I file the fraud report tomorrow. Bank fraud is a federal crime. You'll face prosecution, fines, and possible jail time. And I guarantee you won't see a penny of my money either way. Gabriella's face crumpled. I already spent $20,000 on the car down payment. I can't return it. Then you have a problem, I said. Figure it out. Sell the car. Take a loan. Get a second job. Not my concern. How can you be so cold? Mom asked, tears streaming. We're your family. We raised you. You raised me to be successful and independent, I said. Congratulations. It worked. And part of being independent is setting boundaries with people who exploit me. Dad threw the settlement agreement on the table. We won't sign this. You can't blackmail your own family. It's not blackmail. It's consequences. I stood, gathering my documents. You have 24 hours to decide. Sign the agreement and return the money, or I file the report. Your choice. You'd really do this? Dad asked. Destroy your own family over money? You already did that, I said quietly. Last night when you stole from me. I'm just refusing to pretend it didn't happen. I walked to the door. Behind me I heard Gabriella crying, Miguel arguing with Sophia, Mom and Dad in heated whispers. My phone buzzed before I even reached my car. Gabriella, you're a monster. Mom is having a panic attack because of you. Miguel, this is all your fault. You should have just been honest about your money. Dad, sign the agreement and return the money? Where do you expect us to get $50,000? I blocked all of them and drove home. 23 hours later, my attorney received signed settlement agreements from all family members. The $50,000 was returned in 3 wire transfers over the next week. Gabriella sold the Lexus at a loss. Miguel took out a personal loan, and my parents withdrew from their retirement account. They tried to reach out several times. Relatives called to tell me I was tearing the family apart. Aunts sent texts about forgiveness and family values. My grandmother called me selfish and ungrateful. I didn't respond. I donated $50 million to organizations supporting financial literacy and protecting vulnerable people from family financial abuse. I established a scholarship fund for first-generation college students studying computer science. I bought my dream house, a modern masterpiece with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view of the mountains. And I lived my life without anyone having access to my passwords, my accounts, or my peace of mind. 6 months later, I received an email from Gabriella. Subject line, I'm sorry. I deleted it without reading. Maybe that makes me cold. Maybe it makes me unforgiving. But I'd spent 27 years being the family bank account, and they'd responded by literally stealing from me while I slept. Some boundaries once crossed can't be uncrossed. Some trust once broken can't be repaired. And some families are only families when there's something to take. I learned which kind I had. And I chose myself instead. The emergency they created became my opportunity. The opportunity to finally live free from people who saw me as a resource instead of a person. Best decision I ever made.